Lex Reads. So in today's video, I'm going to do my monthly wrap up of December, everything that I watched, listened to, and read. For this month, I'm gonna be honest, I did not do a lot of reading at all. And it looked like I was trying to get into a reading slump, or actually not, no, I wasn't. I just didn't feel like reading. That's what it was. And it's crazy because I was trying to figure out, did I have that same feeling last year? And I kind of did. It's almost like, the year's over, it's the last month, but I did read some. Let's just get started. So for the books, like I said, I read 2 books. And the first was a graphic novel, which is Saga. I told you guys about this. I started reading Saga back in 2018 or something like that. Shockingly, really liked it. It's crazy that I like this because I don't like science fiction and utopia, and I don't like nothing like that. I don't at all. Cannot watch it, cannot read it. Like, that's one reason why I don't read like science fiction and fantasy. That'll do nothing for me. But for some reason, this I just love, and I was so happy because there was a 3-year hiatus, and I literally have forgot about it, and I saw that this had came out. Actually, it came out 2022, I believe, and saw it. I was like, oh, okay, and then just basically forgot about it. And I think somebody was talking about it online, and I said, you know what, I want to get back into it, and I'm so glad. I read this Christmas Eve. And also, Saga was the first comic that I had ever read. I never read a comic before, and this was my introduction. Now, this is an adult comic, okay? Because they got curse words, they got some little sayings. This is not for the kids. And then the last book I read, of course, was The Book of Harlan by Bernice L. McFadden. This actually is our book club pick for December, and we will be having our discussion this Sunday on Zoom. I cannot wait because you guys know how much I love Bernice L. McFadden. She is one of my favorite authors of all times. This is the second time I read this book, and I mean, it's Bernice L. McFadden. Love it. So that is it when it comes to the books. So like I said, I didn't read a lot, but it's okay. Now let's go to the movies. Watched a lot of movies. Okay. I finally finished Insecure, the series, and I really did like it. I love the way they ended it. They ended it with closure. Next, I watched The Phantom of the Opera. I actually watched this on Christmas Day. I was at my sister's house, and we were on the couch. We were like, oh, just put something on. And of course, say Phantom of the Opera, I'm all game. We both love, that musical. I actually had the privilege of seeing that, and I mean, I grew up on Phantom of the Opera. Love the music. That music is just unbelievable. Andrew Lloyd Webber did that. Just every minute of it. And I really love the movie. I remember when the movie came out back in 2004, 2005. I actually went to the theaters with my sister to see it. She took me. I remember she was in college. And that movie's just fantastic. They did such a good job. And I watched The Grinch That Stole Christmas. This was the first time I watched this movie because, y'all, I got a little story. Back in elementary school, I remember my school took the kids that were on the honor roll to see that. And I remember my sister went. I was never honor roll student. Girl, I had to repeat the first grade. School was a chore for me. And I remember being so sad that I could not go and see that. And when I tell you it took me over 20 years to see that, I literally still have that hardness in my heart. And I'm like, girl, you gotta watch that. Come on now. And I'm glad I did. It's a one and done. I'm still a little bitter, okay, even though it was over 20 years ago. But I really did like The Grinch. I now realize I like the backstory because I, didn't know why he didn't like Christmas. But yeah, I liked how they explained that. And then I watched Four Christmases with Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon. I really like to watch that movie, especially during Christmas time. It's hilarious. It's a couple, they want to avoid seeing their family, on Christmas. So they book a trip to like Hawaii or something, but it gets canceled. And then they literally have to go visit each one of their families. And both of their parents are divorced. So they have to go to like 4 homes, and it's hilarious. Oh my goodness, they have really good chemistry in that movie. But if you guys haven't seen it, I would recommend you see it. And then Christmas Day, I went to see The Color Purple, the musical. We actually went at like 11 like 30 or something like that, which I discovered I like going to the theaters in the morning. I'm glad we did go in the morning because that movie was like 2 hours. So we literally got out of theater at about like 2 something. But I really enjoyed that. I honestly did. Color Purple is a movie where I, can watch every now and then because it is hard, but you cannot deny that movie. You cannot deny that story. Alice Walker did a fantastic job. That is a classic. And I think they did a really good job. It was a musical. And I think some people are not understanding that it's a musical, y'all. Okay, it's based on the musical from Broadway. Personally love the music from, the Broadway production. I love the way Cynthia Erivo sings, the songs. But don't get me wrong, Fantasia did a fantastic job. I mean, Fantasia can sing, come on now. And I was highly impressed by Taraji P. Henson with the singing. Did not know that girl can blow. I'm so glad that it broke records, and I really hope and pray that, Fantasia and Danielle Brooks, they get, their Golden Globes because they deserve it. They honestly do. So, yeah. And then because I saw the musical, I wanted to see the original, movie, and now it's on HBO Max. Like I said, fantastic. I mean, it's a classic. It honestly is. Whoopi did a fantastic job. I still am shocked and not shocked that they had all those Oscar, nominations and they did not win yet one at all. But y'all know the reason why. We know why. And when I tell you they should have won every category they're nominated for, they should have won that year because it's a classic. It honestly is. There's no way to describe that movie. Every actor, including the kids, did a fantastic job. So, yeah. So that was it for the movies. I had a lot of movies this month, and had a lot of good movies this month. So, yeah. And then next for music, I listened to one album and then one song. So the song I listened to was Nicki Minaj, Everybody. I know she came out with her new album. I've only listened to that one song. It was on TikTok and I'm like, oh, I like this beat. I really like that song. I will eventually listen to the album just to see what it's about because I do like Nicki Minaj. But Lil' Kim trumps everybody. And then the whole album that I listened to the month of December was the Supremes. I got on a Diana Ross / actually Mary Wilson kick. Mostly Mary Wilson because I wanted to know the ins and outs of the Supremes back in November. When I went to my aunt and uncle's house in Virginia, there was a documentary I told you guys about. And it was talking about Motown and like how it started and everything. Mary Wilson, before she had passed, was, in that documentary, and she was just talking about the Supremes. Started listening to, their albums and things like that. And I did not realize that they had that many songs. Like hits on hits on hits. And when you really dive into their, history of Motown, in the beginning, they were called the No Hit Supremes. They couldn't get no hits. And then finally, it was like one song after the other. I was able to get this album for only $3, and this is their greatest hits. And I discovered that my favorite song by them was Love Child, which it still is, but I think You Can't Hurry Love. I love that song, and I love the way they perform it on the Ed Sullivan Show. Oh my goodness. But I also was watching a lot of interviews with Diana Ross and Mary Wilson back in like the late 90s. They had a little feud because Diana wanted to do a reunion of the Supremes, and they didn't want to pay Mary. I think they offered her $1 million, and they offered Diana obviously more. And of course, they was bitter about that, but they was going back and forth. If you guys, if you guys watch some of those interviews and stuff, they was going toe to toe. And then also too, in the 80s, Mary Wilson came up with, actually had several autobiographies and talking about Diana and the group and talking about her relationship with Berry Gordy. She it was a tell-off. Like I said, I really watch a lot of interviews with Mary, just not just, talking about this feud, but just talking about how they, became the Supremes and everything like that. I did not know that Florence Ballard is the one that came up with the name Supremes. And the way that she died was so sad. She was 32 years old and died poor. And yeah, I always thought that Mary Wilson was the prettiest one out of the Supremes. Even in her old age, she was so pretty. But if you look at the three of them, the original, she is the prettiest. She honestly is. But yeah, I was on a Supreme kick. Okay, listen to all their records, and all their interviews and things like that. So yeah, guys, that's it when it comes to my wrap up for December. Like I stated, watched a lot of movies, but didn't read no books, but that is okay. It looks like now I'm getting back into, the reading. And then of course now, since I'm redoing this room again, I am finding books in my collection that I have not seen in a while, which, girl, I mean, I need to stop buying books, but I'm not going to stop doing that. So, yeah, but it's prompted me to, want to read more. Yeah, but that is it when it comes to my December wrap up, and I'll be back with more Black books. Bye.